Funding is provided by New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District. Funding is provided by Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who have spent a lifetime caring for others, located on 26 Cass Street in Westfield, New York. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. From the Chuck Kelsey Television Studio of Access Channel 5 in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Join us live Saturday mornings between 9 and 10 a.m. in Fredonia, Mayville, and Silver Creek. Call in and share a thought or wish someone a happy birthday with Chautauqua County's only on-air senior program. Reed continues in 2010 with another year of interesting guests expressing their viewpoints and informing the community on a variety of subjects. And now, here's Reed Powers.
What's the date today? And good morning. What a beautiful day in Chautauqua County, and I mean it. Crocus is up all over the place. The tulips are popping up. Hey, spring is coming, guys, but don't let it get you. Don't go out and plant things yet. My grandfather used to say, "Really, don't plant nothing until Memorial Day." Back then he used to say Decoration Day, because that's what it was when I was a kid. And I'll tell you, that's good news, because people that put it in about 3-4 days before Decoration Day last year had a frost that killed everything, including the grapes, I might add. It was a terrible disaster. Farmers up here only got about half or less than half of the grapes they normally get, because the second growth is nowhere near as strong and hearty and producing as the first growth. So at any rate, got a great show coming on. We have our perennial current leader of the legislature, who was just promoted after a court case was settled for the Republicans, and Fred Crosscut. You all know him, and he'll be on here to talk about the legislature, what's going on. He comes regularly, gives up his Saturday morning to come over here and tell us what's going on, and it's straight from the horse's mouth, my friend, or the cow's mouth, right? He's an old cow farmer from over the hill. We have a lot of other interesting things going on around here. Of course, you see the TV, it's enough to drive you nuts. You don't see the wars going on that are the most destructive thing we've ever had since Vietnam. And nothing's happening except more boys dying and more money, trillions a year. We did get a health care bill, which is totally fraudulent because it doesn't have national health care in it. We're the only country left that pays a third of all our insurance health care costs to the insurance companies for their fat profits and salaries and things. It looks as though that's out, but in the meantime, they have tightened up a little bit. But you know, the insurance companies, they'll get around most of the restrictions one way or another. So to me, it's just a fraudulent act. It didn't mean anything, as has been stated by a number of members of Congress on the Democratic side. And it's unfortunate it was strictly Democrat versus Republican. I'm sorry that was nonpartisan, really. But that's the way it is. Nothing really happening in the Congress still. It's a moribund Congress, as they say. Of course, the seniors are really suffering. No inflation, seniors. You will not receive a penny in cost of living. As a matter of fact, your cost of living, which is always promised, it's going to cost you extra money because there is inflation in your health insurance, your federal health insurance, Medicare. So you're actually going to get less than you got last year, and they've got it set up for another year of no cost of living. You know, you're getting about 60% less for your money than you got 8-10 years ago. Can you believe it? What are seniors going to do? The Congress should be thrown out on their ear, every one of them. I agree with the seniors are sending around letters every day. I get an email. Vote them all out. They're all a bunch of, let's say they're all on the take, we'll put it that way. The lobbyists are paying them huge amounts of money. They're all rich people. They couldn't care less about the seniors, the normal senior who hasn't got a rich parent These seniors, most of our seniors are going to be living in their children's cellar eating cat food. That's what it's coming to. All right. The legislature, let's see, the state is still going crazy. They're still trying to raise more taxes. You have New York State, which is the most heavily taxed state in the country. The corporations and citizens are running out of New York because of the heavy, heavy taxes. A lot of people that live in New York actually have an address in another state, so they don't have to pay the horrendous taxes that people in New York do. It's becoming closing the parks. Kathy Young's all over them about that, especially Allegheny State Park, the second largest park in the state of New York. It's gorgeous. Closing it. They're closing most of it. Just they're going to leave a few patches where people can put up a tent. That'll be it. Trails are gone. Everything's gone. It's outrageous. Here we are taxed so heavily. So anyway, we're so heavily taxed. What's the governor do to solve the problem? Raises the taxes another 20%. God help us. If there's a corporation left here by the time he resigns at the end of his term, because he's not going to run again, he doesn't have the chance of a snowball and you know where of winning. What a dumb bunch up there in Albany, excepting for Kathy Young. She's fighting it. The unfortunate part is that these guys are spending more money than we have, and at some point it's got to stop. We don't have the money, guys. But at any rate, that's the state, and the county is in pretty fair shape. I don't know whether we're going to get a tax raise next year or not. It's up in the air, but we do have a really good guy in charge now. The heavy over there is Fred Crosscut, and he'll do whatever. He's a conservative in terms of bucks. He'll do whatever possible to cut back on the taxes, or at least stabilize them. We are the highest tax, they say, county in New York State on a per capita basis. And since New York State is the highest tax state in the country now, means Chautauqua County pays the highest taxes of anybody in the United States. Can you believe it? Well, some people quibble about what the taxes are, but anyway, we're higher than a kite here, and you know that. Maybe we can do something about that. Fred, what do you think?
Well, we're certainly going to discuss that coming up very quickly.
It'll be discussed. Now, I want to say happy birthday to a couple of people. We got some great groups here. Our senior groups are the best in the world, mainly because they're small, they're community-centered, they have wonderful facilities, and they have wonderful programs, and officers and directors and everything all work for nothing, and they just give to their community. And if you don't belong to a senior center and you're a senior, get over to the nearest one. You got a great bunch of friends, great bunch of support, a new support system, and they give you some heavy-duty tips on how to survive in this economic cataclysm that the Congress has set us up for, which is basically done away with well over half our Social Security payments and our pension, because the pension goes along with the federal government. So, oh, there's no inflation. You don't need a cost of living. The phony federal figures, you know, the core inflation. You know, we don't include this and gas and food and things like that everybody has to buy. Yeah. Westfield Stray Cat Rescue has put out an SOS. Now, Westfield Stray Cat Rescue takes in stray cats. People have a stray, they bring them in, they check them out for disease. Thank Dr. Rogers over there in Westfield, veterinarian, does it for very minimal amount. And if they aren't medically dangerous, they are spayed or fixed or whatever, and they're returned to the stray cat rescue people who have cats running all over their house because there's no place to put them. They do not have a home, and they need a home. They've saved over 300 cats in the last 2 or 3 years that they've been in existence. And it's over 100 a year they save. They put them out for adoption. Somebody gets a wonderful, properly inoculated, wonderful cat, loving little cat, and they make sure that they're good and they've been socialized before they adopt them out. So if you do need a cat, go on over to Westfield Stray Cat Rescue. And if you would like to give a few minutes of your time, they could probably use it. You can contact Judy Spann or somebody, Judy Loomis. You can get them at 716, of course, 581-0463. Let me use these peepers. And give them a hand. They need donations too. But most importantly, the SOS. They need a place